Hi everyone, my name is Anna. I'm a fantasy writer who sometimes makes videos. It's been a minute, and I want to finally sit down and add another entry to the writing diary that is this YouTube channel. So let's catch up. Last time we were here, it was the beginning of May. I was experimenting with writing at a co-working club, and I was just beginning my second draft of Project Gemstone. And what happened after that, you may ask? Well, I basically wrote like a mad person. I finished that draft in 60 days. It clocked in at 80,000 words. As you might have guessed, I did not really vlog that rewrite. In order to write this fast, I had to completely drop YouTube, and I was also really stressed out and putting a ton of pressure on myself. The truth is, I was cranking away in the hopes that I might be able to start posting Project Gemstone on my 30th birthday. More on this in a minute. So I set up some deadlines with two very kind beta readers, and then I pretty much just ranked. I did film this little clip in June, right before I sent my betas the first half of the book.
Okay, so I have not been vlogging or recording this revision process at all, but I figured now would be a good time to kind of breathe and catch up a little bit because I've been revising at the speed of light. Long story short, I'm halfway through my next draft and I have given myself some deadlines because I've realized nothing works so good for me like a deadline that is not just to myself, an external deadline, if you will. It's just really helpful for me to have a little bit of healthy pressure. So I reached out to two beta readers, nervously asked them if they would read for me, and they agreed. And so the arrangement that we made was that I would give them the first half at the end of May. So today is June 2nd, so I just sent off that first half like 48 hours ago, and I stayed up super late. Oh man, and it's just such a weird, scary feeling. Like, I very much believe in this project and I do think it's engaging and good to some degree, but I still feel so fragile. I think I need a few days to kind of like build up a little bit of a like thick skin again because I worked so hard the night before last on cleaning it up and like going for 4 hours just trying to get everything ready. And so I just feel very vulnerable. All that rambling aside, I just wanted to come on and kind of record these feelings of anxiousness because I have not really, I mean, I've sent things out for beta reading before, but I really intend to take whatever feedback I get and immediately start working on it and incorporating it. And so for that reason, my nerves are high. I will be devastated if it looks like it's broken in some massive way or it's just not hitting the mark. Because I really want to keep progressing and moving forward, and if it really has to go back to the drawing board, I will be really crushed. I think with my other projects, like, they never really felt like they left the drawing board in some ways. This one, it just didn't change all that much between my zero draft and my first draft. Like, obviously, a lot of detail and painting of the world and world building, and, you know, trying to sew up as many plot loopholes as I can. Obviously, that's all a part of it, but for the most part, the story that I designed didn't change. I couldn't really see why it would need to. And so I'll be really sad if it's just not effective, basically. I don't know. I'm just feeling my feelings. I'm just feeling my feelings. Feeling my nerves. But this is a part of the process. I think the biggest lesson, the teaching moment that I've gotten out of this is that despite how frightening it is to send someone a draft that's only been overhauled once, I do think it's the right move. I was able to include in this revision all the things that I could see. If I was to keep doing rounds by myself, I think it would only improve marginally. I think it would only take tiny steps forward. If I want to make a big leap forward in quality, I have to bring people in. I have to let others read it. It's scary, but I think it is right. And yeah, we're learning new things. This is a new part of the process. For me, I've never sent someone a story from beginning to end. I've only sent chunks of things and short stories. So I'm really excited to be at this phase in my writing journey where I can have this experience. And I'm really grateful for my beta readers for doing it. And yeah.
While my betas were reading the first half, I worked on the second. I was working on the book just about every day to get it to them as soon as possible. But while I was doing this, a few things were happening that were having these mercurial effects and changing the atmosphere inside my mind. The more I researched Vella, the more it seemed like a dying platform that had little to no readers. And on the other hand, I was falling more in love with my project. And actually, more than that, I was beginning to really believe in it. You see, when I started writing this project, it was supposed to be a silly, fun story based on a D&D character. It was to be something lighthearted and cozy that would give me a break from my dark court fantasy. It was supposed to just be practice getting faster at turning drafts. And hey, I thought I'll throw it on Vella and practice getting over my fear of putting work out there. But it won't really matter, it's just for fun. Why not? And then I really loved it. With my heart and soul, I loved it. And the thought of putting this thing I loved onto a platform where maybe only 2 or 3 people would ever read it to completion, this was the most heartbreaking thing I could imagine. And without realizing it, I had started wanting more. Without realizing it, I didn't want to rush anymore. I didn't want to throw it anywhere. I wanted to take my time. All these conflicting feelings swirled in my head as I finished the draft, and my 30th birthday came ever closer. By the time I sent off the second half to my beta readers, there had been that atmospheric shift. And first of all, I had reached catastrophic burnout. Pushing to finish the draft in 60 days had burned every ounce of creative energy I had, and then every ounce of pure get it done muscle beneath that. I was capital E empty when I finally sent it off. Deep down, I knew I didn't have it in me to try and perfect this project in a couple weeks. And more than that, I didn't want to. I wanted to slow down. I wanted to love this project with my whole heart instead of treating it like a fun excursion that didn't matter. That was just a lie I was telling to protect myself from fear. If I'm not totally invested in a project, then it won't hurt as much when it doesn't succeed, right? At least that's what my subconscious was thinking. So I decided to turn 30 without pushing the project. In a way, I'd been afraid to let this milestone pass without doing something with my writing. Like I still had to prove something to myself. And yeah, toxic, I know. We let that shit go. Instead, I spent my birthday at a cabin with my family, and on the morning of my birthday, I read the journal that I wrote when I was 20. The year that I was really struggling with my writing, and for the first time in my life, it was starting to fade. And reading those entries was a perspective on my writing that I really needed. So after that, several other things happened. I lived with my parents and their new puppy in New Hampshire for a month, and during that time, I threw my sister's bridal shower. We worked on wedding projects almost every day. So many puppy snuggles. And then my sister got married. I gave a speech and I did not pass out, very proud. Luke and I went to Scotland to celebrate our 30th birthdays / 2-year anniversary / finally taking our honeymoon. And then when we finally got home to Atlanta, my brother came to visit for a week. Oh, and then we went to Asheville for another wedding. I wore the same dress because I'm an outfit repeater. And that all takes us to October 16th. So as you can see, the past few months have not contained much writing. But I'm actually very okay with that. I know I already wrote a lot this year. Doing 2 drafts in 8 months is certainly a record for me, and to be honest, it took a lot of self-isolation to do something like that. Time alone at night on my laptop in an empty room. And I knew all along that August and September and October were going to be quite the opposite. I knew they were going to be full of life, full of family, full of truly once-in-a-lifetime memories. I wanted to be there for every second of that, and I'm so happy to say that I took an intentional writing break to fully experience every one of those moments. So, my cup is very full these days. I'm back home after being gone for 2 months. I know I just experienced a whirlwind of life like I'll probably never see again, and I'm still processing all the core memories I just made. So here I am, I'm creaking open my laptop and trying to wrap my head around the fact that NaNoWriMo season is here, as unprepared as I feel. But I'm getting back on my feet, I'm full of love, I'm full of excitement, full of gratitude, and now I'm ready to write.
Oh, sorry.
That's going
I
in the
thought it was
vlog.
a picture. Bella, where the hell have you been?